Hi, in this tutorial is a continuation of the previous tutorial working with layers, and in this tutorial I'm going to get you to produce this artwork that I've just done, and it's literally taken me a couple of minutes, but I was sitting there thinking, how can I conceptually explain how layers work? And this is what I've done. So I've just basically drawn this basic banner that you could use, would look quite nice in a blog or a logo or something like that. I'm going to show you how I create this really simple, really quickly right now. So I want you to begin by pressing Control and N, or File and New. I'm just going to type in user 800 by 600 profile, like so, and I'm going to select OK. Right, now what I want you to do is, using the marquee tool, I'm just going to select a first area. This would be the area that I want my color for my CMYK to fill in, and I'm going to select here a nice blue, and we can also do it from here as well, but I'm just going to really quickly show you. I want to pick a nice blue like so, and I'm going to go to Edit, Fill. We can do Shift and F5, and I'm going to say foreground color like so, 100%, which is fine, and select OK, and there you see it's filled. However, if you look at mine, I've got a bit more depth over there. So if you look at my previous artwork like so, you can see that it looks slightly a bit more different, and I'll show you why, which looks quite cool. Just going to go back. Okay, so let's get that effect, and what I'm going to do is, second thing I want you to do is go to Filter, go to Render, and go to Lighting Effects. I'm going to just place a lighting effect. I can leave that now. This is set up as my default settings, the same that you'll have at home. All I've done is dragged out my circumference of my Omni light here. Make sure you've got your Omni light selected like so, and simply select OK, and you'll see that nice blur where you've got the darker edges and highlight in the middle. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do is select this again like so, and just measure that up and drag that at the bottom. Now I want you to click and add new layer, select a nice yellow. I'm just gonna go like so, and again I can do Shift and F5 and select foreground color and OK. Now the next thing I want you to do is again the same, Filter, Render, Lighting Effects, and we want to use Omni, which is fine, the same settings, and there you go. And I want you to do the same again, add another layer, and selecting that layer, just simply using the marquee tool, drag that down like so, and again, sorry, I want you to select a color, a nice pink like so, and fill foreground color like so, which is fine. Again, select, filter, render, and lighting effects, and we'll leave that okay like so. And now you'll notice I'm going to click off my marquee tool, so I've got my 3 set up there. Now if I go back to my previous one, you can notice I've got some shadows lurking around as well, so we're going to put those in now too. I just want to quickly put the black one in, which I forgot to do, so I'm just going to add another layer, and I'm just going to fill this area here, and I won't go solid black, I'll use kind of a murky grey, and again I'll say edit, fill, and foreground color, which is fine. Okay, and what I'm going to do is crop this using the crop tool just slightly, so my boxes are all kind of equal or roughly equal like so. Just use the crop tool to crop all those in. Now the next thing I want to do is using the first layer, and I'm going to put these layers back into order. So I'm going to put layer 1 at the top, and I'm going to put layer 2 there and layer 3 there, and I'll show you why in a second. Now the next thing I'm going to do is select the top layer, layer 1, double click here to open up your layer style, and I'm going to select drop shadow, and you can see the drop shadow has appeared like so. Now the reason why we rearrange those layers is that so that the drop shadow will appear over the yellow, it's not hiding underneath. Now the next thing I want you to do is select the drop shadow options, and I'm just going to lower the opacity to around about say 30, and I'm going to increase the distance like so, and you can play around with this until your heart's content. And the spread, I'm not gonna, the size I think is okay, but we'll do that like so. So it's a bit of a gradual shadow like so, and we've got inner shadow, outer glow, and all the rest of it, and you can play around with that if you want to. Once you're happy with those settings, just select OK. Now you'll see the drop shadow has been affected. If you want to go back into that drop shadow, you can double click here and it will take you back into your layer style, and you can play around with that like so. Now I'm going to do the same with the yellow. So again, I'm just going to double click here, and I'll quickly do this to show you guys drop shadow, and you should be using the same settings. I can't really remember my other ones that I just used, so I'm just going to play around until I get the same kind of effect. Okay, and the same with here. I'm just going to go set that back down and select the spread. Okay. Alright, so we're done. Now there's the layers. I'm not going to touch layer 4, and again I'm just going to select the top layer, add a new layer, and I want to put some text. If you see my other one that I made, it's got text in there, and so I'm just going to add some text. So using the text tool, CMYK, and what I'm going to do is, using the text tool, I'm just going to whack that up to 70. Oh, sorry, mistake. I'm just going to put that to 70%, 70 point size, sorry, not percent, and I'm going to type in 80 like so. And I can't remember, I think I used a white, yeah, so I'll just change that to a white fill. So I'll just select that from here, select white, and select OK. I can minimize that, and I'll just drag that here like so. Now obviously, to make this a bit more consistent and to coincide with the rest of this, you need to put a shadow on it to make it look a bit more natural, and I'm just going to lower the opacity. The spread I wouldn't play around with too much. The distance either I wouldn't play, because you can see like so. You can do inner shadow, but I think that the drop shadow looks a little bit better. A bit too much spread there. And again, you could add another text and add another layer, sorry, and a bit more text. So I'll just say your blog like so. And the color, the reason why you didn't see that is because of the color. Again, I'll just change that to white. I'll reduce the size, say 30, and I'll place that there, and I'll place a drop shadow like so. And there you have it. I'll go to 100% because it looks a bit choppy, and you can see I could have done a lot more other things with this, and I think I'll leave it there. I just really wanted to demonstrate how layers work and what order, that kind of thing. Now remember I said about the eye icon, you can switch off and you can really see the other layers and how we built up that composition of that image. The next tutorial I'll show you how to export this and compact it into one JPEG image.